Hello and welcome back to the Aligned Podcast, a place where we have open and honest conversations about personal development, business and life mastery. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Tom Waller. Tom, good morning to you.
Morning, Lee. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good. Had a bit of a rearrange this morning.
You did. The studio's completely changed, but still the same beautiful face I'm looking at every time, mate. I was just thinking we should start an apparel line of black T-shirts.
Yeah, we
Pretty
should.
much. The other day,
Every episode.
I had a bit of a dare I say, it's a female moment the other day. You know when you put clothes on, like, I just fucking just not getting on with this. And Sarah's like, but all you wear is a black T-shirt.
Yeah.
Literally, I just changed one black T-shirt for another black T-shirt. She's like, maybe we should start wearing some colour.
It's about the fit sometimes.
It is about the fit. Anyway, what's new?
What's new? Not a lot. I'm pretty tired, actually. We've been looking after my mum's dog, and he is not used to the noises at our house. Yeah. So every night that he's been there, 3 times minimum, he's barked and woke me up, and I've had to go down and comfort him. So it just wrecks your sleep. But last night was his last night, so I'm very looking forward to a full night's sleep tonight.
That's so good.
Yeah,
that's so good, man.
I got an ice bath. My ice bath arrived.
You got one of those? What is it? Lumley ones?
It's like that, but it's a bigger one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty tall, so I didn't want to be crouched up in it. So I got a 520 or a 560 litre one. I'm yet to get it cold.
How long does it take to fill them? You hose pipe filling it?
Yeah, just fill it with a hose pipe.
And then buckets of ice?
So what I do is I get the bottled water that we've been drinking.
Yeah.
And once I've drank it, just fill it with tap water. It's the only thing I will use tap water for.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've got a freezer in the garage, especially for it. It's just full of bottles of water.
And you just chuck them in?
And then I just chuck them in. But if you chuck them in the night before, they've defrosted way too early the next day, so you got to chuck them in the morning, then wait, and I'm just trying to work out the best process for it. So, but I've been doing them. They've been about 15 degrees, which is still cold.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say it was as difficult as when I've done them really cold. I think when you're at like 3 degrees, I think it numbs you.
Yes.
And then when it's at like 15, that's like half of your body temperature. Body temperature is 30 something, isn't it? And I was in it, and I was actually shivering, whereas in 3 degrees I didn't shiver. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's just getting used to it. But
you try and do that daily?
Yeah, I'm doing it every day. Yeah. The resistance is more doing the ice bath than the cold shower, simply because when I do a cold shower, I have a warm shower, and then it's just when I'm doing the ice bath, it's grab a towel, put the shorts on upstairs, know that I'm going downstairs to it, load the ice into it before, take the top off, so there's a bigger build up to it, which is good.
And that's going to be harder the colder it gets outside.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing them in winter when I've got to break the ice off.
I really want to get one of those ones you have outside, because the proper ones you get are permanently outside, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're permanently full.
Yeah. So there's a company, do you know Ross Edgley?
Yes.
The
swimmer guy.
Yeah, the ultra athlete. He's
intense,
phenomenal,
isn't he?
Yeah. He's from local. He's from around here.
Is he?
Yeah, he's from Grimsby, I think. He teams up and partners with a company, and I can't remember what they're called, but they're ice baths. They do like an ice bath sauna combo. Yeah. It's about $7,000, and that's what I'm going for eventually. I want one of those. They're amazing. But this one was only £100, so
it's ideal.
No excuses, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, it is. We're talking about excuses in the victim mindset.
Indeed.
I just thought it'd be good to have a podcast to fire some people up and call some people out, which we do. And you know what? Both you and I have had some really good messages over the last few weeks of people really enjoying the podcast. Yeah. Even one we both reposted the other day. Chap said he wasn't going to go to the gym until he rested in podcast. It's just things like that we know are having a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. And I think it's an important conversation, because the people listening to this podcast don't necessarily fall into this category, but we all have a potential to fall into it at times. You and I do as well.
Definitely.
But the way to get everybody else to change is for us all to lead by example and not fall into this. And when we do, we catch ourselves, we set the example that we pull ourselves out of it. Because I see this generalized weakening of society, and I think that is done because of this victim mindset. And this victim mindset is something that just breeds and makes normal comfort. Comfort is controllable. Controllable is a lack of independence and a lack of freedom. So I think having this ability to overcome excuses, figure out where the excuses come from, and that victim mindset, hugely important for us individually, our success, and our communities thrival.
Yeah, I think the society that we live in, the social media society, and again, this all depends on who you follow, and you are the curator of your feed, which I always say you are the curator of your own social media feed. So if you say social media is full of shit and negativity, that's your own fault.
Yes.
People are celebrated on social media for being a victim.
Yes.
So when people say, oh, woe is me, I've had this and this, they get celebrated. And all people are trying to do is get recognition and verification from social media when they're doing that. And if it works, they keep doing it. Yeah. And then other people see that it works, and then they end up doing it. And it's just like a vicious cycle of
it's really poor, isn't it? Because like you do the woe is me, you get some, oh, it's okay, you feel good for a bit, and then it rubs off, and then you have to do the woe is me. Whereas if you did the opposite and you were killing it and you were doing so much good, you'd feel that recognition in yourself. You wouldn't necessarily need the external to validate it, which I think is a deep topic. Just
thought of something there. When you are killing it and when you are making waves and you are doing things, you do get people hating on you. You do get people who, it shines a light on the fact that people aren't doing the things that they should be doing.
Yeah, they don't want that torch flipped on them.
Yeah. Whereas when you're victimhood and you're saying how terrible things are, people are more accommodating of that. And that, because it doesn't shine a light on them, it shows, it makes them think, yeah, he's struggling and he's not doing it, or she's not doing it, and that's okay because I'm not doing it either. Well,
I quite frankly think it's bullshit.
It is,
and I think culturally we need to change
massively.
We need to change. You can't keep going with this weak mindset all the time, because it's to the point where, oh, I don't feel well, so I'm gonna have a day off work. Fuck off.
Yeah.
My team had a go at me. They're like, you swear a lot on the podcast.
How did they? Is that what they said?
And I know sometimes, like, I've had days off when I've been sick. Yeah, fine. Like if you're sick, but if you're just not feeling 100%, come off it. That really came in from COVID, when people like, before COVID, when people had a cough or a cold and called the practice, we were like, it's a good idea to come in and get adjusted because it's going to help your body heal. Now it's like, oh, I think you should stay at home because you don't want to pass it on to anybody else. Like, come on.
Yeah. People faking COVID tests to get a day off work.
So mad.
Not your team, but people in general.
My team are amazing. They don't come in, they know they don't come into this. But I think there's three excuses that really come up that I believe can umbrella everything. That's sort of victim side.
Okay.
I think the excuses are no time, no talent, and no opportunities. No time, no talent, no opportunities. So people, I haven't got time to work on this piece of work as well as this one. I haven't got time to exercise as well as go to work. I haven't got time to look after the family and cook fresh food. So time is a huge excuse that's used. The other one is no talent. So, I'm not good at that. I was never good at that. They're better than me at that. And never really believing in oneself to achieve. And we can blow that out of the water from both you and I's experience. And then the last one's no opportunities. Like, where I grew up, there was no opportunities to do that. Or, I can't get a loan for this. And I'll tell you a funny story about loans that I've had before. And people say there's no opportunities for them. If it can be true for one person, it can be true for anybody. Like I did the post last night, like the no time thing. I'm changing my shifts because they're ridiculous, but I got up before work. I take the dog out, I do a little bit of work, I get ready, I go in and do a 14-hour day. I come home and spend several hours with the family, put them to bed, and then go to work again. No time.
Yeah.
Like, there's always time.
You've got to audit your life. And when you actually, if the people who say they've got no time actually sat down and looked at where they spend their time and what they do, they would see that they've got loads of time. Yeah. I think.
I don't have time to watch shit on TV, but I choose to audit my life and not watch shit on TV so I can be more productive elsewhere.
Exactly. Like I'm running multiple business. It would be very easy for me to say, I don't have time to do this podcast.
Yes.
Like it takes a lot of time for us to do this podcast. And with designing thumbnails and all the things that we do, it would be very easy for us to say, we've both got multiple businesses. Yeah. You've just had a baby. We ain't got time to do the podcast. Instead, here we are every week at night time. I shared on my story the other day. It was, I don't know what time it was, 7, 8 o'clock. I was prepping episodes of the podcast, sat at my kitchen table with my mum's dog at the side of me.
Yeah.
It's just audit your time.
I think it's choosing what do you like, what's the long-term game? What do you want?
What's your priority?
Yeah.
What's your priority?
And if your priority is to get fat and sit on the sofa, that's fine.
Yeah.
But deep down, I don't think that's your priority.
But people don't see that as that they're choosing that priority. Their priority is instant gratification and what's easy right now.
Yeah. And I want to relax. Okay. But you can relax and have this gnawing thing in your mind that you should be doing something else, or you can do the stuff and truly relax. And that's, like you just said, short-term versus long-term gratification.
Yeah. Or you want to relax. Well, you're unhappy with where you are. You're unhappy with your body. You're unhappy with your mind. You're unhappy with your situation. You've been relaxing for the last 10, 15 fucking years. And that's why you're fucking where you are.
This is so going to get some people pissed off. So we're probably going to gain 20 listeners off this and lose 15. But anyway, I don't care. And the other thing I was thinking, and this, you know this, when you see this victim stuff on social media, you never see a fit, athletic, go-getter do it, do you?
No.
There is a stereotype to everybody does it, and there's a stereotype for a reason, because they're in that way. And then then the next excuse, I believe, is there's no talent. They don't have talent. Like, we've done a show on this before, like, you and cameras and microphones, like, not good originally, like,
no.
But people look at you now and go, well, you're a natural at that, you're talented at that, you teach people how to do that. Talent, you're not born.
It's not talent, I can tell you that.
My daughter, who is 6.5 weeks old, is not a talented pianist.
Anything.
But she may be in the future, but how would she get there?
Exactly.
By hard work and dedication.
Talent is bullshit. And if you, like I said before on a previous podcast, I left school at 15, kicked out of school at 15 years old for being too disruptive, with no GCSEs, 0 GCSEs. And I've gone on to build successful businesses and do this podcast and help people all over the world. So that's just bullshit.
It is.
I just won't hear it. I won't hear it. And it's not about qualifications or anything like that. It's not about ingrained talent. It's about what you decide to put the work into and what you decide to learn.
I'd really like, if some people are listening to this and don't agree, I'd love to see the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Because like you said, you won't hear it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No.
I just don't get it.
No.
Like, I have no time, I have no talent. I just don't get it. Like, I had a reading age at school, which was super low. Like, severely dyslexic, never sat an exam. And we've talking about all this shit before.
Yep.
And I could live in the past and say that's woe is me and no one's going anywhere.
No.
Or you can choose to change the switch and decide what you want to do.
Yeah. It's back to the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. If you believe that you're born with the talents, that you are born with the skills that you have, and that is it. And if you're not good at something, you're not good at something. And the people who are successful in any area is because they are born gifted, then you will never make anything of yourself. But if you believe that no matter what it is, you can learn it to a higher level and to a level that's going to allow you to use it in business and life, then you're going to become successful and you're going to grow past what you are. Every year, like I was thinking about this yesterday, I'm excited to see where we're going to grow to in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 10 years. And people listen to this podcast as well. People who've messaged us and talked to us, and people who I know are putting in the work to become the best that they can be. Where are they going to be in 10 years? The growth that we've got ahead of us, because we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the podcast 15 years ago. So people didn't have access to the information that we've got access to now, and the way that we're growing and the way that we're seeing through the veil and the bullshit that is in the world. And people are learning. Audible wasn't a thing 10 years ago. Podcasts weren't a thing. all of these different, YouTube wasn't a thing. I mean, it was, but it wasn't used like it is now. All of these areas of extra knowledge that we now have access to is going to change the world on a phenomenal level. And I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited because you can really use it to your advantage. I did a thing on this the other day, like calling people to come into coaching, just because you see it too far. I see it in the gym and I see it in business. People set a goal, they set a target, and they work their balls off. But at the end of the year, they're in exactly the same place. Their practice is, I don't know, 200 grand a year with super crazy overheads, and therefore they're taking nothing. The next year, they're like, I'm going to change. I'm going to see more people. I'm going to reduce my overhead. End of the year comes, they're in exactly the same place. Or the person you see in the gym who, at the start of the year, is going nearly every day, but at the end of the year, they look exactly the same.
Just going through the motions.
Just going through the motions instead of deciding. And then I think it comes into this next one. We talk about, well, there's no opportunities for me. And I think that's the other thing that people use as an excuse. They've said they've got no time. They say they've got no talent. Okay, they find time. They gain the talent. But then they go, oh, where I'm from, it doesn't work. There's no opportunities for me. I'd love to hear your input on that, because I think your past speaks to that better than mine.
Yeah. So, again, I think it's bullshit, because I think too many people sit around and expect these opportunities to fall out of the sky and just land on their lap and be like, oh, an opportunity. And what's that saying about when preparation meets opportunity? You've mentioned it before. Is it luck or success? Or
success is where preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the talent, putting in the work and making the time to put in the work and gain the knowledge gets you ready for the opportunities. And if you haven't done the preparation, no, there won't be any opportunities. And if you haven't learned the skills, no, there won't be any opportunities, because you haven't put yourself in a position to take advantage of those opportunities. So the universe is a wonderful thing. And if you put in the time and you put in the work, it will give you the opportunities.
The reticular activating system, which we spoke about before, that yellow car thing, like you talk about a yellow car, what do you see everywhere? A yellow car. What do I see everywhere now? Those electric Porsches.
Oh, yeah.
But the reticular activating system is that part of the brain by way what you're focusing on, what you're thinking about, you'll start to see in your environment, because your brain is always processing what it sees and what it doesn't. And for opportunities, they are being thrown at you all the time. All the time. You're just choosing not necessarily to see them, or you're not ready for that opportunity. And the way I say this is, and this, again, with this not talented, every single morning, the first thing I say to myself when I wake up is, today's going to be a great day. Thank you, God, for giving me another opportunity to serve other people. And then on the walk, I literally spend the first half of my walk, I am the best. I can achieve anything. I am the best. I can achieve anything. And I literally am saying that to myself over and over and over again.
Yep.
And then, thank you, God, for all the opportunities you're going to bring to me today. I serve over 1 billion people around the world through my podcast, through my practice, through my coaching. And I am saying this so that when the world comes and opportunity comes, I'm like, yep, I saw that opportunity. I'll take that and I'll run with it.
Yeah.
But you have to wake your mind up to those opportunities with that part of the brain called the reticular activating system, to see them, but also have put in the work to be ready for them.
Yeah. And then you'll get to a stage where there's too many fucking opportunities.
Yeah.
If you put in the work
like
for
we
long
about
enough,
it the other week, weren't we?
fucking hell, like there's so many opportunities in the world. So many things, like because of the stack of skills that I've learned over the last 10 years, I'm now in a position where I've got so many things that I could go and do. And I have to be like, that could be really successful. I can't do it. The amount of times the amount of ideas we have and we talk about, and I'm better at this than you, I think.
Yes. On my mind.
You're like, let's fucking do this. Let's do this. And I have to go, that is a really good idea, but we need to fucking focus.
That's what Sarah's good at me for. Singularity of focus. However, if you're out there and you want to run a vitalistic and very well focused nursery, then I'm looking for someone to run a nursery. And if you want to run a really successful and entrepreneurial focused, open all hours, amazing coffee shop,
Drop us a DM.
Drop us a
Instagram.
message. We'll make it happen.
We might not have the time, but we might want to invest.
Anyway, but that's the 10-year thing, dude.
Yeah.
And that's Ed Milet talks about this. One of the guys I coach with in Arete, he calls it the lie that is also true, whereby people think that all multimillionaires have multiple streams of income. They do when they get to a certain point, but that becomes because they've had a singularity of focus over the years to gain enough money to then invest. I did a blog about this several weeks ago to my coaching group to warn them about exactly that, because there's a lot of coaches in chiropractic who are like, come to my coaching group, I teach chiropractic, but I'm also going to teach you how to invest in property. I'm also going to teach you how to do this. I'm also going to teach you how to do this. I'm like, cool, but show me a profit margin first. Show me that you can run a business that you can be pretty hands off and you know it's going to generate over the long run. Once you've hit that point, now you're ready to go.
Yeah, and the episode that's coming out on Thursday, we'll probably discuss that in more depth because we're talking about building strong foundations in a business. And Jim Rohn has a quote which is so true. And it's, if you really want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't, you will find excuses. And
So true.
I think when people say they want one thing and then they just come up with excuses, or they don't want to put in the work, or they just go into the victim mindset, it's because they just don't want it enough. Or it's funny because I know people in life who I know that they want what they say they want, but they still don't want to do the fucking work. They just can't be bothered. So it's difficult. But that quote is like that, or maybe they really don't want what they say they want.
Yeah, I think it's what you said. Choose your hard. Like,
yeah,
I know Sarah's going through it because she's recovering from giving birth and she hasn't been able to exercise. I went through it and had surgery. What was it? Beginning of the year, I think it was, or even last year. I was laid up for 6 weeks. God, like, I would rather work literally an 18-hour day, train super hard, feel fatigued, feel exhausted, feel tired, than sit on the sofa and feel the nag in my mind. Fat fuck, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
What are you achieving? You're going nowhere. But people then go, okay, well, I can hear this little thing tapping in my head, but if I eat that bar of chocolate, I'm going to get a little bit of a dopamine release.
Yeah, it might shut that voice up for a
bit,
second. Yeah.
And then it comes back and taps again. And it's like, come on, choose what's difficult.
Yeah.
Choose it.
Yeah. And it all comes down to, and I think we'll round it off now because this episode's coming to our time, but take 100% responsibility for your own life. That's what it is. It's, I think that it's like doing the work is for yourself and excuses are for other people. That's what it sort of feels like sometimes. Like you say these excuses and you have this victim mindset, but they're for other people to tell them why you're not doing it, because when you know you should be doing it.
Yeah.
And if you take 100% responsibility, there's only one person, like you say in chiropractic, there's only one person who can get you better. There's only one person who can get you healthy. Well, there's only one fucking person who's going to make you successful. And there's only one person who's going to make you happy. Yeah. And that's yourself. Yeah,
I remember speaking at a conference in the States, and the overarching title of the conference was, if it is to be, it is up to me. Like you have time, find some time. You have talent, you've just got to cultivate and build it. And the opportunities are there, you just got to look for them.
Yeah. And if they're not now, when you put the time in to gain the talent, they will be.
100%.
Cool. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you haven't checked out YouTube, please do go and subscribe over there. Any questions or any feedback, or if you have ways that you overcome excuses and the victim mindset yourself, we would love to hear them. So drop them in the comments on YouTube. Send us a message on Instagram at Dr. Tom Waller and at Abandon Average. We will see you in the next episode. Stay aligned, and thanks, Tom.
Thank you.